If you practice semen retention, you have probably noticed that the vast majority of people around you, friends, family members, strangers, they don't quite understand it. They don't quite get it. Maybe it seems a little bit strange to them or a little unordinary. And you find yourself in this peculiar position where you, at the center of this ancient practice, are feeling the warm, calming glow within, the groundedness, the presence, and the high energy. And yet the people around you are scratching their heads, using their minds, thinking, conceptualizing, just trying to understand why you would engage in such a practice. Now, of course, people don't care that much, but when this kind of thing is raised, the truth is that most people unfortunately have no intuitive understanding of how utilizing your sexual energy can have a transformative, powerful, and spiritual effect on you and your life. If you know about this practice, you are very rare because you have woken up to realize that you can use this practice to experience higher consciousness, deeper focus, greater confidence, and more sustained energy. And yet, when people around you speculate, they are so confused, weirded out, or just not clear about why you would do such a thing, let alone talk about it or live with it as one of your guiding principles. If you are on this path, it is most likely the case that the people around you in life carry a more shallow, closed-minded, or normie kind of attitude toward this practice. Maybe it's holding socially conditioned beliefs, or just generally naive assumptions which are formed out of pure speculation and ignorance. The average person is actually afraid to approach and surrender themselves to this practice, and would find it much more comfortable in the safety of the herd, regularly releasing and not investigating or observing the potential power of their sexual energy. So it's a sheep-like mentality that keeps people away from this practice, misunderstanding it and not willing to experiment with it. This is why when you come along, you might begin to stand out a little bit because you realize that you have the ability to think for yourself, to feel inward, and to use your intuition to guide you and your actions. Of course, doing this are you going to retain because physically and intuitively you're going to be feeling the subtle impact that this energy has on you and will allow you to grow, transform, and flourish into a stronger and wiser man. This practice of retention will seem very obvious to you, and again, very intuitive. But the reality is you're not going to have many, if any, people around you to relate this to. People will think you are weird. People will think you are different. And, well, the truth is you are different. Different from the herd. You are not a regular sheep. You, if anything, are a self-aware sheep. But you're not really a sheep at all. You are your own person with your own self-awareness and the heightened energy. You are not in the dark anymore about how your energy can be cultivated to improve your life. And as a result, you start to feel free to tread your own path. It actually makes no difference to you whether or not people understand this core practice, because doing it and silently reaping the benefits of it is enough for you to feel fulfilled. What's also nice to remember is that every now and then you will come across another brother who gets it and who can feel the energy within. It's someone who knows the value of self-discipline and high consciousness. And this is like two majestic eagles flying past each other high up in the sky going, "What's up? What's up, man?" And although not needed, this does warm your heart and is one of the reasons why I find it such a delight knowing that you guys are aware of this natural energetic potential within, which is such a beautiful thing. The truth is that on this path you have to appreciate the profound ignorance of our culture and society. People around you will not understand this practice because fundamentally they are disconnected from their own spiritual wisdom. What you realize is that the society that we live in, which influences the minds and attitudes of people, is developed only to a selfish and materialistic level. And what this means is that people, they're not going to understand this practice because the subtle programming and conditioning that exists within the society, if anything, is going to direct people away from their spiritual nature and toward external material pleasure. However, if each and every person were to actually feel and experience the abundance of this energy, it would be far more culturally accepted and casually understood. For what is at the heart of this practice is direct experience. It's the knowing and the feeling and the experiencing of this heightened energy. And yet most people, they lack any kind of direct experience because they are not interested in applying a basic self-discipline, which inevitably keeps them forever overlooking their own energetic potential. In my experience, this whole thing, it's a little bit like if you stop drinking alcohol. If you stop drinking alcohol, or you cut down dramatically, people will take notice and they'll say, "You're not gonna have a drink, man?" To which you might respond, "Nah, I'm actually good." And to most people, this is crazy talk. Because to not engage in the low consciousness activity which everyone else is doing because you are looking out for your own mental, physical and spiritual well-being is actually considered crazy and quite radical. Because the herd, mainstream society, or most people in our culture, they love the following things. They love ignorance, easy pleasure, lust, unconsciousness, and the diminishing of their energy and awareness through overstimulation, frequent drinking, pornography, and casual sex. I mean, where is the wisdom, man? And so when you come along and start drawing energy from within, being all high consciousness and all responsible, people are going to think you're an alien. They're going to think, who is this guy and why is he on our planet? Get him out of here. And this is what happens and has happened throughout history with anyone who starts to think differently or more radically than the mainstream. So, knowing all of this, there is one main thing that you can start to do to accept the reality that the world around you is asleep and that most people in your life won't understand this practice. And that is through silently embodying the work. Embodying the work means to prioritize carrying and cultivating the energy and self-discipline such that it lives through you and speaks through you. You could say that it's what I'm trying to achieve here with my channel, as I dedicate a lot of my time to deepen my connection to this practice and to really live it and understand it authentically so that I can share with you guys my insights which are completely genuine. One other thing that has to be mentioned is the complete irony with this entire thing, which is doing the practice will actually mean that people love your energy. The only thing is they're just a little bit unsure and confused when they hear about the practice itself. Sometimes it's better that you let your actions speak instead of your words and have no need to share this with anyone who isn't on the path. But of course, you guys are on the path, and so that's why it's being shared right here and right now. Likewise, there may be friends of yours that just need a nudge, or there may be someone who you care about, who you know that this practice would benefit. So there are certain circumstances where talking about this and spreading the word of it can be useful. Finally, I want to remind you that you should be proud of yourself if you are carrying out this practice, especially if you have frequent sexual desires and you're overcoming them. And especially if practically no one else in your life does this or knows about this, and yet you push on and honor your own intuition. Slowly but surely, you're going to wake yourself up and you're going to connect deeper and deeper with yourself and the universe, moving closer and closer to your higher self and further away from identifying with your lower self. So keep going and keep trusting in your energy to guide you in your life. If you have enjoyed this video and you would like more, then brother, please do subscribe.